It's a secret society. All they ask is trust. What's going on, people? I'm Magnetic Intuition, and you know I got a topic for y'all today. So let's get into it. Yo, definitely the first thing I wanted to talk about is dating on dating sites and how the secret societies manipulate those dating sites to spy on you and to basically try to tarnish your life, man, to tarnish your confidence and everything else, you know. Now, I talked about in previous videos how I was set up, you know, by different people, fake friends, people I used to date, family members, you name it. You know, I've had so many different devil worshippers in my life, like it's unbelievable. And I'm still here, you know, so that just lets you know how powerful God is, the Most High Yahweh, you know. And when you're protected, you have to give that praise, you know. You have to give that respect to your Creator, to your ancestors, to your angels, you know, to your whole spiritual team, the spiritual guides, you know, and etc. So let me get into two different parts of this. I'm gonna talk about dating in the U.S. and I'm gonna talk about dating overseas. So we talk about the U.S. To my recollection, in the past, you know, when I was dating, after I broke up with my ex, there was a few American women that I've dated, but not many, because, you know, these past couple of years, I was traveling to Africa, like really tough, you know, after the breakup. So the women that I was dating, they seem to be more or less on like some real feminist type stuff, you know. More or less they were witches, you know. Eastern stars, of course, you know. Because when you go on a dating site, right? As I mentioned before, when I go to Airbnbs, my algorithm only sends me to Eastern Stars and Freemasons, right? And it's the same thing when we're talking about the dating sites. It only sends me to Eastern Stars, women, you know? Or agents, you know, that are women, right? Agents of the devil, however you want to look at it, right? So it was a lot of feminism going on, at least on the American side, right? And it was one chick in particular that I was dating, and she was like really aggressive, like really aggressive, man, like really aggressive. And me being a laid back person, you know, we at the time we was just really having sex. I think we had one date, and then she was like, yo, come to my crib, you know, just come to my crib. There's no need for us to go out anymore. I was like, cool. You know, any man that hears that and an attractive woman says that, you're like, all right, cool. So, you know, we used to go back to her place and do what we do, you know. And after the first time we had intercourse, like she wanted me to like build up a like printer for her. But like I told you, she was like super feminism, you know what I'm saying? She was like on that feminism stuff heavy, you know? And she was like trying to boss me around, you know what I'm saying? It was kind of weird to me, you know? So I guess she thought I was like some weak dude that was just gonna, you know, just because I had sex with you, then, you know, we just gonna build you a whole system, a whole printer system, whatever she wanted me to build her. So I never really agreed to it, you know what I'm saying? And after that situation, and I didn't do the printer for her, whatever it was, right? I came over there and we did what we did, and then she went to another room in her place. She has two rooms, and like she tried to like have me sleep by myself. So I'm like, okay, like obviously she's upset, right? And I know why she's upset. So yo, I just straight up left. It was like 3 in the morning. Like after we did what we did, and she decided to go in the other room, I burnt out on her. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't gonna play with her, you know. So she was trying to like hit me up and try to get me to come back. So I stopped talking to her for a while, and then we ended up talking again. But there was like heavy feminism vibes. You feel me? So a lot of times with these witches in America, that's the type of vibe you're more likely to get. I'm not saying every witch, you know what I'm saying? Because you have some friendly witches too, you know what I mean? Like, of course, if a chick is not friendly and she's a devil, you know, how is she gonna actually, you know, interact with people, you know? For the most part, these people, when they're on the devil side of things, the witch and warlock side, most of them actually try to act like they're angels, you know? They try to act like us, you know? And I can understand why. It makes sense, you know? Even though we're not perfect people, most of us, I bet 99% of us don't even know we're angels. So that's what happens. But with this one, she wasn't necessarily, you know, she was real though. So that's why I rocked with her. And of course she was attractive. And, you know, she had some other things going for her. So, you know. So that chick, she was sent to me. If abstracting information from me, you know. So that was definitely one. Now, I'm gonna just go straight to it on the Africa scene, right? So there was a chick in particular from Ethiopia that I was dating, and she was abstracting a lot of information from me. You know, wanting to know where I'm going all the time. I was like, hey, I'm not gonna tell you everywhere I go. I'm a grown man. You know, like you can't talk to me like that. Like you own me or something. You know. So I was basically telling her that, and she wasn't feeling it, but she had to respect it. But we dated like most of the time I was in Ethiopia. I was out there for like 3 months, but we wasn't like together, you know. So of course I met other women from there, and to be honest with you, the women that I met in Ethiopia, I've been going there for years, right? For a couple of years now. But the very last time I went in 2023, most of them were really nice. Like I didn't have issues with women from Ethiopia, and there was only one woman I was actually sexually having sex with there, you know, and that's the one I'm talking about now. The other women that I met there, they were just like people that I hung out with, you know, and just like had dinner with or whatever it may be. But even though they were sweethearts, many of them were spies too, you know. So one of the women I had met, she actually low key like admitted to it, you know, but she was trying to put me on game. So I was talking about at the marijuana, and I was like, yeah, you know, I like making edibles and this and that. And she was like, yo, how do you know I'm not a spy, you know? How do you know I don't work for the government, you know? And I heard, and I caught on to that. I was like, yeah, you're right. You know, now that I know what I know now, I'm like, you're right about that, you know? So, you know, you just have to be careful how you talk to people and what you talk about. And some people like that woman will put you on game and be like, hey, like, you know, I might seem cool, I might look good, but, you know, you don't know who I am. And it's similar A similar situation happened in Uganda when a chick that I met off of Tinder was trying to put me on game, you know. She was trying to put me on game. She was like, yo, like, if you gonna hang out with a chick, you know, she may try to rob you, you know. So just be careful. I've had she told me she knows people that's like transported people for like organs, you feel me? So, you know, they do that human trafficking stuff, you know. So she was trying to put me on game, even though she was a part of it, you know. So, you know, I have to put some respect on my experiences. And I'm not here to talk down on everyone that decides to live that devil life, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not the creator. But if you do me dirty and you're a part of that, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I got to expose you, you know, especially if I know I'm going to expose you. But at the same time, I respect my experiences. You know, there's some people, valuable people that was in my life that, you know, I might have changed. They might have changed me. We met for a reason. And regardless, we all learn lessons. We all learn lessons at the end of the day. And hopefully, you know, I sparked some people's lives. And I know many people have sparked my lives, whether it was good or bad experiences. But more or less, let me rewind and get back to the Ethiopian woman that I was dating. So there was a time where, you know, I found out that I was being gang stalked and I was being harassed by Freemasons and East Stars and the government, etc. And I asked old girl from Ethiopia, I was like, hey, like, no, I didn't ask her. I was telling her what was going on. And she told me, she was like, they don't like to see you on they don't like to see you on Instagram traveling, doing all this traveling and stuff like that. And when I heard that, I was like, she's trying to put me on game, you know? Like, see, here's the thing, right? A lot of times, when people go undercover and they come to extract information out of you, of course, many times it's going to be sexual intercourse, right? Because you're trying to get the information. You're getting paid to get this information off the target, right? Which was me, right? But on the back end, many people do fall in love, you know? So what happens, right? Especially for a woman, right? You know, women do have a way of loving people and a sensitivity. So you have this woman that even though she's on the devil's side, she runs into an angel. And, you know, this angel knows how to love. This angel, you know what I'm saying, looks out for her. You understand what I'm saying? And she sees the potential, but she has to do her job. But then she has sex with me. And then, you know, all this other stuff goes on, and I'm putting up on game, and I'm teaching her things and stuff like that. Like, and she falls in love. What you think's gonna happen? Some things are gonna slip out, you know what I'm saying? Because now she cares about me, you know what I'm saying? So that's basically what happened. So she was like, yeah, they don't like, you know, that you travel, and they're jealous, da 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 da. And I didn't, you know what? I didn't even say nothing. I didn't even ask who it was. I didn't even ask because I ended up finding. I knew I was gonna find out, but I was like, you know what? Let me not even ask who it is because I know they're watching. They hacked everything I got, right? So I was like, all right, cool. So she knows what's up. She's a part of it, and you know, I couldn't really reward her for it because, of course, she's under, you know, she's with the cult. You know what I'm saying? So she's gonna end up having to like submit to them because she's afraid, you know, they could take her life and etc. She's not protected like me, you know what I'm saying? So I just had to stop talking to her, you know. I could have extracted information, but they would have seen it. So I got what I got out of her. The little that I needed, that's all the angel needs is this much information. And we're going to make that shit explode. You understand? So that's how that went down. So she gave me a little information. That's all I needed to know. In other situations, I noticed more or less like people that I was meeting up with. Some of them, they used to come late to like, lunch or dinner. You know what I'm saying? Just in different places I was at. Not necessarily Ethiopia, but just other places I was at. And once again, people would try to extract information, or people would just waste my time, And like I said, I started realizing, like, like the people I'm meeting on here were all sent to me just to, like, just kind of mess with my life, kind of detour my life, waste my time. And that's the reason why, like, basically I'm not married, because I've been running into a whole bunch of witches, like, straight up. I mean, I met some good people, though. There was a time when I first went to Africa with a phone that wasn't hacked. That's when I got robbed, because they had to literally rob me and take my phone that wasn't hacked. You understand what I'm saying? So at that time, I did meet people, and they couldn't mess with the algorithm because my phone wasn't hacked. So I did meet some people. So I don't want to say everyone that I met on the dating sites was actually a part of the cult. But I'm gonna say most of them definitely. Like, I could look back at past experiences and say, oh, this is why this chick was talking like this and saying certain things. You know what I'm saying, to kind of get into trying to take little shots at me, here and there. But it was like sneak shots. It wasn't like direct shots, And certain things that they would say that no one should know unless, like, you're, like, literally watching me 24/7. So, yeah. Shit's real. And then, of course, there's chicks that I met on dating sites. Or I met in public. Even in public, right? Like, a lot of times, like, when you're a target, they'll send women your way. And it still happens to me. And they'll have them, like, if I was at a party in my younger years, early 20s or whatever, they'll send women in that area. You know what I'm saying? And if I go holler at a chick, like, there was chicks that I talked to in my earlier years that are pulling up in my dreams now. And I'm like, oh, so you was a witch the whole time. Okay. So everything's starting to pull in now, But I would say, honestly, I'm going to be honest with everyone. If you're watching this, and you're not a part of the dark side, you're not a part of a cult, don't use dating sites. Trust me on that. Don't use dating sites. There's a lot going on, you feel me? You better off just talking to people, putting yourself in certain environments where you can meet new people, That's what I recommend. Get outside, Get outside, please. Don't focus on those dating sites, because that's all people complain about, especially women, how they can't find a man on dating sites. Ain't nothing good on there, trust me. I'm not saying it's gonna be the best out here in the world, but I think you got a better chance if you're out here in this world, just putting yourself in the right places at the right time. So look into that. Anyway, I'm gonna holler at y'all. I'm Magnetic Intuition. Thank you for joining. Stay blessed, stay prayed up. Blessings. Holla.